Kind friends all gathered round. There's something I would say that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside. We're strangers on this family, loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to love, tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I walk these mountains in the rain and learn to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born of fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you are ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It will be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to love, tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. That was wonderful. Thank you. Miss Ireland, Mr. Ward. Yeah. Miss Ellen, Mr. Andrews. Our team is at work this morning, here to bring blessings to the world. We sing, we bring our hearts, we bring our dedicated lives to be a blessing in the world. Wherever we find ourselves is an opening, a portal into the possibility of creating something even through our most simple acts that is a blessing to the world. In dedication, we bring our hearts into spiritual gathering, into community, that we might be uplifted and might hear more deeply and experience more fully the movement of Spirit at work in us and through us, raising us up, transforming us in always and on all levels of consciousness. We greet you who are online with us this morning or tomorrow or whatever day you happen to watch. We're welcoming you into our community, into our family, into our gathering. Even though there's distance, you really see no distance. You see that when we abide by the realization that we are one in spirit, we know that everything is in a state of oneness. And what we call space is a mental concept, or distance, if not space. We're as close as a thought. We're as close as an open heart. We're as close as a moment when we touch into the awareness of the love and the presence that is present everywhere, we say. The one presence, the one power, the one truth, the one reality that endures through what we call infinity, although we have a no concept idea of what that means. We have a no concept idea of what it means that there is infinite life, infinite power, an infinite presence, infinite wisdom here moving in and through us now. To accept that, to say, I may be challenged in this moment, but in this infinite experience of life, this moment has come to pass, and the fullness of that peace and love is present where I am now and always, and where my brothers and sisters find themselves today, anywhere in the world. So our blessing on a Sunday morning is actually a reclaiming of the truth. There is only one presence and one power. We reclaim that over and over again. When we actually begin to open to that, it changes everything. There is not God and a multitude of problems. There is not God and an infinite supply of one challenge after another in any disguise. There is only the power, only the presence. There is one presence and one power active in my life. God the good, omnipotent, all power, everywhere present. There's only one presence and one power active in my life. Together. There's only one presence and one power active in my life. God the good, omnipotent, omnipresent, here in my breath, here in my heartbeat, here in this precious moment in time. With a breath, we make ourselves available to the presence. I am open and receptive to my good. And so it is. Richard, would you share our daily word? The abundance of the world flows through me. What a powerful statement.
I need to tell Ellen, I'm not sure if I changed something. I bumped the bottom and it said 2.
Is the green light on?
No.
Red light. Now it is.
Okay, do this.
Hello. Hello, all you warm and present bodies.
Yes, we are here.
Today's word is generous. And the affirmation is, the abundance of the world flows through me. So take that in and let it be you. The abundance of the world flows through each and every one of us. I am securely in the flow of prosperity when I receive graciously and gratefully and share my abundance generously. Whatever I share with a loving, giving heart blesses me as much as it blesses the one who receives it. Each time I share of my supply, I am demonstrating my trust that I will always have what I need. You all get that the I is you. When I share of myself, I am living my faith that I am a divine being empowered with a limitless supply of divine ideas. The richness of an abundant universe flows through me. Knowing this, I don't hesitate to be generous to others, so others will know the abundance of the world as I know it. Through my giving, may they also know the blessings of the awesome power and grace of God as they bless me daily. And I love this passage from 1 Corinthians 2:12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit that is from God, so that we may understand the gifts bestowed on us by God.
Thank you.
So it is. Thank you.
Very good.
Every need met. Oh, look at that be on. If you arrived at that place where you could look at everything and say, everything I need is present now. What if we were open to that possibility that the only place lack exists, lack of love, lack of resource, lack of opening doors into whatever's coming next. What if for a while we rested in there's nothing missing, and there's nothing missing in me wherever I find myself today. On your bulletin, on the back of your bulletin, upcoming events are all listed. We had a board meeting this week, and on the 14th, there was a men's group meeting, I assume. On the 20th, upcoming, it's kids' night. If you're a kid and you want to be here, please come. They get snacks, they watch movies, they have fun.
Really?
And they relieve parents of the responsibility for their children for a few hours.
Linda, kids' night's canceled this week.
Back up.
Sorry.
Cancel.
No kids night this
No
week.
kids' night this week.
Got it. No kids night this week. We're good. We're great. Prayer team's on the 24th, but on the morning of the 24th from 11 to 12:30, I'll be starting a new class. Using a book from Mark Nepo that I've had for a really long time, called The One Life We're Given. This book is a collection of ideas and stories and meditations and visits into what we want to be considering. And there are a ton of stories. So it isn't that we're going to study every story, but I want to open the way to explore the theme ideas, the key ideas. So the one life we're given, finding the wisdom that waits in your heart, by Mark Nepo.
And on Kindle, through whatever source you purchase books. If you want a book, they're great stories, and they're really uplifting and transforming. And on,
Where will you do it? Where will you do that?
I'm going to do it online, but Zoom did something to my online account, and I noticed that I don't have the same numbers. So I thought I'd have a conversation with Zoom tomorrow.
Whoever Zoom might be, to make that work. If you got old information about that Zoom connection, wait until I send a new link next week.
So it's 11 to 12.
11 to 12:30, yes, on Tuesdays for 8 weeks, beginning the 24th. Yep, so just so you know, on the 5th of I don't know what date really, I made that up just then. It was either divine guidance or I made it up, I'm not sure. You know, sometimes you can't tell the difference between those spirits. I think I made that up, but it may have been divine guidance. Wisdom must have been present in that. The first Thursday or Wednesday, obviously, I need to clarify this again. We talked about it at the board meeting. I'm going to do meditation, 5 o'clock meditation, the first, either Wednesday or Thursday. Thank you. I found Thursday is at 5, first Thursday of the month, meditation online. And for those of you who would decide that you'd rather be in the sanctuary, I'm going to see if we can hybrid it and make it here and available online as well. So that, I mentioned prayer team, but prayer team is busy, praying for the requests of anyone who's asking for themselves, for someone else, be it great, be it small. The prayer team is dedicated to holding you in the awareness of wholeness, in the awareness of your perfection, in the awareness of nothing is ever lost in spirit, and that meaning in any way, nothing is ever lost in spirit. There are many things we let go of, and many things we choose to set aside. But in fact, in spirit, the things that matter most to us and that we most need are always right where we are. So in prayer, we know that to be true. I believe that's the only thing that I can overwhelm your minds with about the future. I think, yeah, well, we'll see what comes next. We never know. Please.
Daily words are here.
Well, we have our daily words in, available for purchase. How much?
$3.
$3 each. And if you don't have $3 and you want a daily word, just say thank you for the gift of this daily word, and we're happy to share it. Anything else, my friends? Enough, they said. The people said, enough blabbering. Let's get on with something that...
Thank you for the flowers.
The flowers are gorgeous.
Heather. Heather brought them? Yes.
From Heather, thank you. Last week's flowers from Dee were gorgeous. Mine is still in flourishing. The cat tried to eat the field, but
Didn't taste it.
no, he was not successful in that. The world. We talk about the world for a minute. And can we know our own connection to the world? Can we know that the world is not out there someplace, but here in our hearts, here in our spirit, here in our being, that we are woven of the same substance, the same sacred presence, the same state of holiness, the same reality of truth. It's painful to watch the world, but it's more painful when we disconnect from it and think that we're not part of both providing light and love and blessing into these experiences that are going on that are so one part of me wants to say wrong, but you can't say wrong without saying right. There's an evolution of all things that's occurring, and we're part of that. It isn't we're cause of it. It is we're part of it. A part of our spiritual mission, a part of the reality of our being, isn't to separate ourselves from the world, but to bring our highest and best into the midst of all these things that seem so wrong. And if we look at them in one way or another, we find this emergence of what we've always called the shadow, those disowned aspects of ourselves and our lives. We see people suffering and in pain, and we know the nature of suffering. Maybe not in that way, but we know. And we've learned, and we've grown, and we wish for all, not just that they would awaken, but that they would find that door within themselves that we seek, that door of possibility, that door of promise in seemingly unpromising circumstances. I don't know the nature of each heart, but I know there's one universal heart, and it's through our minds that we divide that and experience separation. I know there's one life force. There's one infinite life source. I can't say that and then divide out a group of people. There's one infinite life source. And in and through all, there's one great promise, fulfilling itself through every lifetime, through every life experience. I may not know or understand, but I have a heart, and I can bring love, and I can bring light, and I can bring compassionate caring and empathy to all those who suffer. You say there are too many. Because you know, there's one source, and when we're in alignment with it, it moves forth from us to be a blessing to the world. And I become a blessing in the world when I move into the awareness that has one presence, as one power. We do make a difference when we lift our hearts and open to that which is greater. So as we sing blessing to the world, let's do so with the knowing that it is the truth for us. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. sweep away for a minute the things that are yet to be done and allow yourself to be present in the moment. We say, what can I do in a world that is living in separation? Who can I be? What difference can I make? That question lives in our minds, but not in the reality of our being. The very movement of the life force in and through our bodies, the beating of our hearts, the breath we inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. The movement of the cells and atoms and molecules of our being in some coordinated, mysterious way. Bring us into a reminding again. I remind myself, I bring myself into a deeper awareness that that same life force moving in and through me, in all the mysterious and wondrous ways, is the same presence, the same life force that moves in every man, woman, child, that moves within the infinite sea and all the creatures who dwell there. That same life force presence, that same breath of life moves in and through every animal form. In and through every tree, in and through every blade of grass. It's the same life force. Not based on distance or color or nationality or religion. The same life force. Held in an infinite flow of pure and perfect love. Uniquely expressing in and through all of life. I center myself in that presence. Here in the midst, here in this heartbeat, this breath, I allow the edges of me, the way I define myself as form, I allow the edges to melt into the presence of the One. As though everything in my being is soaking in the presence and overflowing and moving forth in all directions without boundaries, without limit. May there be peace. May there be light. May there be healing. May there be freedom. Here is the love. We offer her our love and gratitude. May there be peace. May there be light. May there be healing. May there be freedom. And may the power of love rise mightily in and through and as all. Through our minds, through our hearts, through our actions. Loving Spirit, I allow your power and your healing grace to move through me mightily, to be a blessing to the world. With a breath, and with gratitude in our hearts, we give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative and don't mess with Mr. Enmity. You gotta spread joy to the max.
And you, Mr. In Between.
No more mystery in between.
No, well,
None of that.
thank you, Iron. Thank you, Ward.
Yes.
One of the things we talk about with regard to metaphysics or the study of metaphysical thinking, well, people just start showing up in here. You weren't there, and then there you are. Like a big mystery. She wasn't there in that week, and she wasn't there in that week, and then there they are. And then you go, how did you get there? How did you come? We're like that. We're always moving between the seen and the unseen. What we see, what we don't see. When this whole conversation about metaphysics began, and they defined what metaphysics was, the Fillmores and the other teachers of that early time said, it's that which is beyond the physical. It is the reality beyond the physical. The physical is the manifestation or the seen element. But beyond that which is seen is that which is unseen, and it moves us from being three-dimensional beings into being, when we start to be aware of it, into fourth-dimensional outreach beings, and now we say fifth-dimensional, and how many other dimensions are we moving in and through as we continue to grow and unfold? It's a question I have no answer for, but I know about the unseen realm. That when we're looking into the unseen with our imagination or with our point of focus, things appear that were not apparent before. That's why prayer is powerful in the way that it is. We're looking through conditionality or the third dimensional physical fixation into that fourth dimensional or that limitless reality. And with the focus of our attention, we begin to draw together. It's that quantum physics thing. We begin to coalesce the elements that then come into manifestation in a visible, seen kind of way. And we can do it by recognizing that that's what we're doing and making choice about that. We also do it all the time and draw and continue to bring into what is seen the repetitive conditions of our lives until we see from a different perspective and until we see with our eyes more wide open into infinite possibility. So when Charles Fillmore was writing about love, he said, it's the glue that holds all things together. It's cosmic glue, this that we call love. And when we're moving our awareness beyond that sense of separation or beyond our sense of who we are as a physical being, when we're moving beyond that into our spiritual nature, the experience of that begins to feed back to us the evidence in the manifest world that reveals to us over and over again the power of what a quantum event is in our own lives as we live from day to day and in and through the experiences of our lives. And we see from a perspective that says, although I don't create everything, I am a creator. I am a creative being that's working in these fields of dimensional reality beyond what I can see or imagine. And in doing that, whether it's the presence of love or whether it's the presence of manifest good in any form, or even the presence of something that's troubling to our minds and our hearts and our bodies and our beings, we are constantly engaging with these realms of divine beingness that we're calling into being through the focus of our attention. I don't mean just your mental attention. If we called into being everything we thought, we would never be here being who we're being now. If we called into being every single thought we had, where would we have fallen off the boat? Or off the banana tree? You know, it's like, where would we have stopped our growth had we been always working with our mindedness, whatever that is? But we see that we have a multitude of thoughts, and they're constantly running and racing and turning over and putting on different clothing and showing up again, and yet as we walk, if you will, a more dedicated and conscious path, what we saw was we could interact to bring forth at different levels a life that really works, a life that supports us and sustains us and brings us into ever-evolving aspects of life that we have not yet seen or experienced. We said the presence of life, the presence of wisdom is infinite. We say, how little have I seen, and how much awaits my attention. What attention? Well, obviously not just my mind. Where does this attention come from? It's a point of focus within our being. What is my attention? How does my attention move? If you really sit and I say, focus your attention in your heart, you know exactly where it is, and you can sense the movement of the energy of your own heart. You're moving beyond just the physical reality into the energetic of your heart. And we look and we say, oh, worried heart, fearful heart, but we have an awareness that can observe that and shift our attention inwardly, our awareness, to a different vibrational level. How does it happen? Well, it doesn't happen here. It happens here somewhere where I agree with a different state of being. It might be beyond the physical outpicturing, but is presencing itself for me even when I don't know it. We would say, what does my imagination do? Well, it depends on what you're doing with your imagination. Imagination is frequently a power that we use to create the same thing over and over and over again. But imagination in a metaphysical sense is an unlimited capacity to perceive greater and greater and greater outpicturing of possibility. I don't always know what that's going to look like, but I know I can engage the energies of that. How do I do that? I do that within my being. I do that by entering into my awareness consciously and focusing, if you would, a camera lens on the opening that brings more light, more aliveness to the moment. Because I'm engaging with spirit in a way that I wasn't recognizing before that moment in time. simply by being aware and witnessing inwardly. Now I have the ability to open that aperture, open that spectrum in consciousness that says, I am alive in a universe of infinite expression. And I can come to a place in myself where I find that connection and bring myself to it by noticing. By noticing. We're back to by noticing. So the New York Times had a wonderful article, an interview about Dr. Roland Griffiths. And Dr. Griffiths has done a lot of work with psychedelics and the impact now of psychedelics in terms of people's growth and movement through both mental illness, physical illness, variety of things. Why? Because it drops the curtain on the ability to see into that other dimensional experience of life, beyond the physical, if you will. I don't know. I didn't trip. But I knew a lot of people who got stuck tripping, and it was like a warning. Maybe you're not sane enough to do that. Well, now we're using elements to bring forth great change in people. Dr. Griffiths, is now 76 years old and has been diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic colon cancer. And the article was written in April 2023, and the knowledge that they had was that he would pass before Halloween of 2023. So he's nearing the end of his time. But this is what he said. I started to contemplate the different psychological states that would be naturally forthcoming with a diagnosis like mine: depression, anxiety, denial, anger, or adopting some belief system of religious outcomes, which as a scientist I was not cut out to do. I went through those and explored what life would be like if I inhabited those reactions: depression, anxiety, denial, anger, trying to storm the kingdom of heaven, Godward somehow. So I inhabited those reactions, and I quickly concluded that that was not a wise way to live the rest of my life. Whoa. I have a meditation practice, and the focus there is on the nature of mind, of consciousness, and one comes to see that thoughts and emotions are transient. They're appearances of mind that you don't need to identify with. That practice was incredibly useful because what I recognized is that the best way to be with this diagnosis was to practice gratitude for the preciousness of my life. Grasping for the cure was not useful, he said. So the interviewer said to him, "You talk about your cancer almost as if it's a gift. Does that mean you don't have regrets about what's happened?" "My life has never been better," he said. "If I had a regret, it's that I didn't wake up as much as I have now with a cancer diagnosis." So you have this sense near the end of your life of waking up to life's real meaning. What's the most important thing for everyone else who's still asleep to know? I want everyone to appreciate the joy and the wonder of every single moment of their lives. We should be astonished that we're here when we look around at the exquisite wonder and beauty of everything. I think everyone has a sense of that already. It's leaning into that more fully. That's the phrase. It's leaning into that more fully. There's a reason every day to celebrate that we're alive, that we have another day to explore whatever this gift is of being conscious, of being aware, of being aware, of being aware that we're aware. That's the deep mystery that I keep talking about. That's to be celebrated. I read this article and there's more to it about the work that he's doing and has done. But his regret that he didn't wake up as much in his life until he had a cancer diagnosis. I could certainly relate to that. And more than that, though, it's that reaching beyond the physical. So he's not a God person, you know, he says, I'm not a religious person. I didn't move in the direction of trying to hang on to the coattails of a belief in God. I'm a scientist. But he believes in life, and he believes there's something at work that is more expansive than the physical diagnosis and the physical reality. And he doesn't really talk about whatever he believes about after death. He doesn't dwell in that. But where he lives is in a state now of that profound awareness that the expansiveness of his life can't be confined by a disease or by the circumstances of whatever else might have configured how he thought or felt or believed. And for me, it's that stepping through into that state that's available for us all when we notice the fullness of life instead of the emptiness. Where does that shift take place? Here. How can I describe where that shift takes place? How can you describe a placement for a state of awareness that is so present and so the very nature of the fabric of your being, that you are always moving in and through these realms of consciousness, and whatever we fall on that we notice, if you will, and give our attention to, becomes, if you will, the circumstance of the world we're living in that moment. So last week I brought the book on noticing, and I told you I would bring it back this week. And again, it's written by Kobe Yamada, and it begins this way. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? It seemed as if someone was talking to me. It's okay, I guess, I replied. Just okay? A woman sitting nearby responded, why, we have the birds and the trees and the sky and the questions, the what ifs and why nots. I'd say this is indeed an exceptional day to be alive. Don't you think? If you say so, I shrugged. It seemed like an ordinary day to me. Are you a painter? I asked. I like to think of myself as more of a noticer, really. I just try to make things from what I see. It's my way of appreciating and honoring them. I just try to make things from what I see, it's my way of appreciating and honoring them. As I looked at her canvas, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. How could someone create something so amazing? I wondered. She was definitely a painter. She looked over to me and asked, "When you look up, what do you see?" "Clouds." "You see clouds, that's all, just clouds?" "I think so," I said, uncertain as I scanned the sky. "Why? What do you see?" "Oh, so much," she said excitedly. "It's like the whole sky is tempting me to be amazed. I see wild horses running free and upside-down castles. I see whales flying like songbirds and a dragon breathing fire. But it's not only that. I'm filled with butterflies of excitement. It feels like an adventure is unfolding, and I don't want to miss any of it." I stared up, wanting to see what she saw. The more you pause and allow for the extraordinary, the painter explained, the more you find it. And often what we see depends on what we look for. Take this mountain, for instance, as she gestured to the horizon. A climber might see a great challenge. A scientist might see the movement of an ancient glacier, and someone else might notice the cool breeze traveling from its snowy peaks. Though we all may look at the same thing, we don't always see it in the same way. That's true for mountains and also for people. When we look at others, we may see their faces or their clothes, she continued, but we're only seeing a tiny piece of who they really are. We often don't notice the important things, like their capacity for love, what they hope for, what they dream of, or who they can become. We can often miss the most beautiful parts of them. I wondered what I wasn't noticing. I wondered what I was missing. "What do you see in you?" asked the painter. I looked down at my hands and my clothes and my shoes that were a size too big so I could grow into them. Just a kid like any other kid, I suppose. But you're not like anyone else. In fact, there isn't another person exactly like you anywhere. And the amazing thing is, there never has been, and there never will be again. I'm not sure there's anything all that special about me, I said. "Oh, but everything is special about you. There really isn't a single thing about you that isn't extraordinary. You're the rare and unique combination of what was and the bright possibility of what can be. And you know what? So is everyone else. Everyone shines and needs to be seen. Everyone wants to know that they matter, that there's a place for them, and that they are needed. Sure, some may hide their brilliance, but the light is in there, always flickering. And it is a beautiful thing when we can reflect it back to them. I always look forward to my visits with the painter. I had to admit, as much as I couldn't wait to see her, I also couldn't wait to see what she saw. On one occasion, I went to go find her and she was sitting peacefully with her eyes shut. "What are you doing?" I asked shyly. "Hello, you," she smiled and waved me over. Some days I find that I can notice even more when I close my eyes. The gentle rustling of my hair, the ideas dancing in my head, the sunshine on my face, and the wonder of being alive. She invited me to close my eyes. What does home look like to you? What does kindness feel like? What does love look like? What does it feel like to have a friend? What does it look like to be one? One of the most important ways we see is with our imagination. So many significant things cannot be seen with your eyes, but they're very real. And it is vital that you look for and believe in them. I was filled with a feeling of calm and appreciation. It was moving and wonderful. I sat there with my eyes closed and pictured the people and places and things that meant so much to me in my life. When you're interested, you are curious. And when you are curious, you discover things, amazing things about yourself and about the world. The miraculous is everywhere and in everything, waiting for us to notice it, waiting for us to appreciate it, waiting for us to love it. The miraculous is everywhere and in everything, waiting for us to notice it, waiting for us to appreciate it, waiting for us to love it. It's been years since that day when I first met the painter. I miss her. I wish she were still here so I could tell her what she has meant to me and how she helped me to look at everything differently. But mostly what I wish I could say is, thank you for seeing me. The miraculous waiting to be noticed. That's that movement from the physical containment and the addiction of the mind to being tight and too busy to see. In metaphysics and in the practice of the promises that we study and the truths that we live from, the idea wasn't we would work harder to do more, but that we would notice and move into relationship at deeper and deeper levels with that incredible mystery and miracle that is the nature of life itself. Not that we would become somebody different, but that we would notice the elements of our being in ever-expanding ways and live into that through our life experiences. There's a woman who wrote a book called Infinite Silence. It's a small meditation book. She said, pausing, I'll close with this, pausing often helps us remember and value our ability to choose. Pause, notice, take it in. Asking the simple question, what will serve life today? What will serve life today? It's a question that can only be answered within. What will serve life today is a penetrating practice. Not what will serve me, my problems, my family, my desires, my worries. Such questions only lead us to the realm of worry. When we ask, what will serve life right here and now, we begin to live in a larger picture. What will serve life today? Life doesn't mean our own small egos, the insistence on its own way. It means something else. What will allow for the greatest good in a particular setting, called Here and Now. Hearing the answer from deep within and following its direction, she said, will turn us slowly towards peace. A peace we may not understand, but one that opens us to new meanings and new experiences in our lives. Noticing that there's a far more expansive lens in the camera of our being through which we can see and feel and notice life from a different perspective. Always speaking to us. How do we speak back and accept the gift? So the article in the New York Times, again, his name is Roland Griffiths. It's a wonderful article. The book is called Noticing. Look closely, there's so much to love and appreciate. There's so much to discover. And the small book called Infinite Silence is written by Goodell Norris. And noticing into what's more than what is apparent in the moment. A great gift. People who can't see with their eyes notice a whole lot more about life. Because the interior realm is so alive, if allowed. I can go to sleep and be comfortable, or I can wake up and see life as spirit is unfolding it for me. How grateful we can be for that. Our love offering. Let us move to our love offering. Thank you, Sam. You need another? Give two-handed. Pam, she can do it. Let's bless the offering. I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source, and abundance is my nature. And so it is. Perfect song. Sleepwalk. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did anybody see the eclipse? No. It was, did you? Where were you?
Well, we saw what you could see from our house, but it was ghastly and beautiful. It was just wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I was seeing that it was going to be really bright in that corner of Oregon as it moved off diagonally, but it was really cloudy and would come, so I couldn't see it. Do we have children? Anybody have children who would like to come be with us? There should be maybe 2 children. Anyway, The next one is, what, 2039 or something? I don't know whether I'll be there for that one.
2025. Eclipse in 24. Next year, April, it's always in the middle of the country.
So next year in April, total,
Illinois.
it'll flow through Illinois. Oh, here come those wonder beings. Hey, look at you. Hi, you. It's an apple. What is that? It's a pumpkin. It's not an apple. I made a mistake. It's a pumpkin, you're right. Because it's pumpkin season. Okay, shall we bless you? Turn around. Face the people. Children of light, we love you. We bless you. And we appreciate you just the way you are. Would you eat that had glue on it? Hey, did you eat the chalk? The blue. Yeah, there's your tummy. That's a tummy, all right. Yeah, I see that coming. There we go. Let's share our prayer for protection. How about that?
Okay.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Well, we believe it to be true. Please stand and join us for these songs. Are you going to sing? Yes. We're going to sing.
Am I with each other?
I wondered.
Thank you all for being here. See you soon. Let there be honor, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.